Welcome to Game Day Live with your host Steven Dutson and myself Logan Myers. Welcome, Steven.
Hi.
How you doing, sir?
Well, enjoying a full day of football, getting ready for the next day of advance. How are you?
I'm doing good. And also, just want to please welcome our special guest for tonight's show, who will do an interview with us and talk some stuff from around the league. Welcome, Kansas City Chiefs user Josh Hazlitt.
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, Josh?
Another night watching football.
Hell yeah. But before we get started, Game Day Live is brought to you by Eat a Snickers. You suck at Madden whenever you are hungry. But, alright. So tonight's episode will be about what didn't get recorded last night due to the YouTube issue with the recording. I don't know what happened. And we also have some more to talk about. So let's get started with the interview with Josh. Steven, you're up with the first question.
All right. So, Josh, looks like the injury bug has hit your team hard this season. With that being said, would you imagine your team being more of a threat this year, given the Broncos the run for their money?
This year, we kind of probably playing for next season at this point, evaluating players. We just lost Patrick Mahomes for 6 weeks, and it's not been a good start since injury. But yeah, I see that the Broncos moved Bradley Chubb for a wide receiver, so it's more of a win now than a future mentality I'm taking.
Yeah, I can definitely get that right there, because unfortunately he did lose to me the first week of losing Bradley Chubb. I guess that pass rush just couldn't get to Deshaun Watson, and then but next season, will Tyreek Hill be a top 5 receiver, Josh?
We like to keep it balanced and we don't push the ball down the field as some of the users do, so I won't go as far as say that. Never really, most receivers on my team don't end up in the top 10. I try to stay more balanced, not key one player because that would tend to make a lot of mistakes.
Agreed.
Okay, so with this season kind of looking like a wash, are there any top prospects that you might have your eye on for the upcoming season?
We're looking at offensive line. We need offensive line pretty bad. We'll have Mahomes back next year. Kyrie, we have a good core. We need some offensive line and some young players on the defense.
I think everybody's looking for a top offensive lineman in the league, besides the Cowboys maybe. But what's your opinion on your next opponent that you will be going up against?
Well, no matter who we play, really, we're just going to hope to try to keep it a close game. Trey Boykins do a little bit since the defense is missing the pass rush for Houston. So we're just trying to save the game, and we're just evaluating at this point. We don't have much expectations without Mahomes in the game.
Yeah, and you will be going against the Arizona Cardinals, and that is Rob Stevens.
Oh, rivalry.
Yep. Long history.
Okay.
Look for a Chief W.
Ooh, guaranteed W. Here we go.
I agreed. Steven?
All right, so barring the same issues that you've had this year, how confident are you that you're going to turn your team around next season?
We're going to try. We're going to attempt to, but there's a lot of good teams in the AFC. You got Pittsburgh, you got Browns. There's a lot. It could easily be a Super Bowl winner out of the AFC. There's a lot of good teams. So just looking to be competitive and learn how to play with this.
Agreed on that one. Now, is there any last comments on your Chiefs team and statements you want to make on the next season?
We're just looking to make playoff next year.
How about not losing Tyreek Hill and
Yeah, hopefully we keep young kids healthy. Got losing those injuries.
All right, we're going to move on to talking a little bit about the NFL standings. And the first thing we're going to talk about the AFC North. And as we can see here, the Bengals are 5-3. The Steelers are 4-4. Browns are 5-4, and the Ravens are 3-6. This division is really a top potato.
Oh yeah, this division is filled with talented users. Got Edwin going with the Steelers. Of course, he's always going to be a top dog. Got RJ there sitting with the Browns, another tough opponent. Got Brooks Keaton in with the Ravens. Very decent user. I guess you could say somewhat predictable to an extent. Honestly, I don't remember who the Bengals is. So
It's
Logan,
Renard Scott.
Tell us some about the Bengals.
Well, Renard Scott did trade for Russell Wilson halfway through the season, and it seems like it's been helping. They're 5-3 right now. I guess he thought it was a win-now situation with getting Russell Wilson and starting him over Andy Dalton. They got a good roster there. I mean, there's some older guys in that division and in that team, so hopefully it's kind of hard to really say. I mean, the Browns are in a 2-game winning streak, and the Steelers are in a 4-game losing streak, and the Bengals just lost. So right now the momentum is really shifting towards the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I could see this being a division that puts 2, possibly 3 teams into the playoffs, along with the AFC East. Those would be my top 2 picks for multiple.
I'm going to come out and I'm going to say that if Pittsburgh and the Browns are going to make the playoffs, I'm going to say the Browns because Steve Chubb actually Miles Garrett off the edge. I've already seen it as I played him last game. He could move the ball very well. And then I just think that the Bengals are a little overrated myself. I was beating them myself before Mahomes went down to close game. That's my opinion on it.
Agreed on that one. All right. Moving on to the AFC South, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at 6-2, the Colts at 6-2, the Titans at 3-4, and the Texans at 4-5. Go ahead, Steven, Josh. What do you guys think about this division?
Well, I always have a bias towards the Colts, so go Colts.
You would?
Realistically, I can see. Yeah, you're looking at the wrong division. You kind of got me like, what the hell? No, I mean, honestly, Jacksonville, I see them taking the division. Biased aside, just looking at their points forced compared to their, basically their point differential, their offense is obviously high-powered at this point. I don't think anybody can stop them in the South.
Well, I'm not trying to sugarcoat it or really be cocky or anything, but my Houston Texans did defeat an undefeated team, so it's every given Madden game at this point. Anything can go, anything can happen. I mean, we've seen it with the previous division.
Yeah, that is true.
But I like the Jacksonville Jaguars. That defense is locked down. But I like the Colts linebackers. I mean, I think we'll get to the whole yearly awards here in a little bit. But on to the AFC East. New England Patriots at 9-0. We already know the cockiness is already building. The Bills are 7-2. The Dolphins are 4-5, and the Jets are 1-8.
It's pretty much just a race to see who can beat the Patriots at this point. My opinion is, take out Gronkowski, you'll have a really good shot at winning.
Yeah, if you can.
Buffalo, they have been on a 2-game slide. I mean, who knows? Maybe my Dolphins might squeak in and take a wild card spot away from Buffalo.
What do you think, Josh?
Patriots are definitely going to win the division. That's a given. And now that takes the Bills out of there too. Possibly as a wild card, I think the Dolphins' schedule is just too tough.
I'm really shocked with what Tawan Crosby has done with the Buffalo Bills. He lost Josh Allen, and he's winning with guys like Peterman. And but if you look at that, it's not really his quarterback that's really helping him win the game. He's doing really well in the defense. That's a young defense, and he's always ground and pound.
Yeah, he likes to run the ball.
He's one of the best. He's like one of the best users I've actually seen in Madden. Actually, like really do well on the running game. Like,
I've been playing against this map, but previous maps it has a 2 running back system that runs really well.
yeah,
Yeah, if he can get that 2-headed monster going, he's a real tough out.
which I don't know who his two-headed monster is right now. I know he's got LaShawn McCoy, and he really can be a. Yeah, well, I was gonna say like LaShawn McCoy to me he is a two-headed monster, just himself. So that, I mean, if you look at this, the AFC East, if you take a look at the points for, the Patriots got 313, Bills got 210, and 228 for the Dolphins. That is the most points for every division so far that I'm seeing. So, on to the AFC West, we have the Broncos at 8-1, who just lost. The Raiders at 4-3, the Chargers at 2-5, and the Chiefs at 1-7. And 1. Forgot about that. And 1. And the Chargers
Can't
also.
forget about that tie.
2-5 and 1. Usually you don't see too many ties in a Madden game.
I'm gonna be straight with you on this division.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking Oakland's gonna take the top. With the loss of Chubb for Denver, I think that was a bad move on their part. It's gonna screw their defense over in the long run. Oakland takes the division.
I'm going to say Denver takes the division. Oakland second. Anytime he's not winning the division, that would be my
I just want to say this. I played with the Denver Broncos in a league, and I've lost Bradley Chubb for 7 games in 2 seasons, both seasons, 7 weeks at least. I am terrible without Bradley Chubb on that line, because then I'm just one-dimensional with just trying to get Von Miller to get pressure. And that's what I think hurt him against me, the Broncos. So I kind of want to agree with Steven and say that Richard Raw could take this division if the Broncos start getting on a losing streak. But you never know. Moving on to the NFC. The NFC North, we have the Bears at 7-1, Vikings at 7-2. That's going to be the key matchup on who's going to win this division, obviously, because the Lions are 2-6, and the Packers are 2-6 as well.
Yep. New user for the Bears. Got Joe Scott coming in, replacing Maurice. Got Nate Folsom there in Minnesota, correct?
Yes, he just took over the Vikings like week 3 or 4, and the Vikings are right now in a 6-game winning streak, but they just lost Kirk Cousins, but signed Brock Osweiler to be their new starting quarterback. So it's
I can
gonna be
see
rough.
that one coming down. I think Vikings got to go with the hot hand, so I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
And I might be wrong, but the next Bears-Vikings game is actually Week 10, which is the week coming up. But I might be wrong. I'll have to take a look at that once we get to the Week 10 predictions and all that. Alright, moving on to another division that's really red hot, the NFC South. Buccaneers are 6-2, Panthers 5-3, Saints 5-3, Falcons 2-5. What do you guys think, Josh?
I don't know too much of that vision. I'm trying to look there now. So go ahead, Steve. I'm gonna look and see that stuff. I'm just doing a draft, so I can't look at that.
Yeah.
Very tough division to pick through. Honestly, though, I could see the Saints slipping in, but I mean, Atlanta still has a very small chance that they could slip up in there too. But I think it's going to be New Orleans that ultimately takes that crown.
It's kind of crazy. Both teams are really good. The Panthers are good too, but they're in a one-game losing streak. Saints have won one. Bucks have basically won 4 straight, and I think that's to do with their running back position and Ronald Jones II really running the ball good.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bucks and Sean Temple out of that division. I think he's gonna pull it out and win the division in there.
So just an update from the Bears and Vikings standpoint. They actually face each other twice between now and the end of this season.
Wow. So it's definitely going to come down to who.
Very well can come down to Week 17 being the game for that conference, or for that division, my bad.
I think that might end up being the closest division in the league right now.
Right now,
Besides
aside
this
from
one.
the NFC South, yeah, it's going to be one of those two.
What do you think, Steven? So you think the Saints and Josh goes with the Bucks?
Pull it out.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucks.
I like the Panthers and all, but man, I like what the Bucks are doing. I like what Sean Simple is doing with that team. Saints have a really young defense, and Davenport can be a really key factor for the defensive line. I want to take the edge on the running back with the Ronald Jones II with the Bucks. Moving on to the NFC East. Yeah. Do we really want to talk about this division, really?
Redskins all the way. That's pretty much how it's going.
Redskins 5-2, Cowboys 1-6, Giants 1-7, Eagles 1-7. Not even gonna say anything about it.
If Jacob hadn't blown up his team, we might have had a decent division to watch here. But what can you do?
What can you do when somebody takes this whole team and puts it up for like a yard sale? Or takes it to the damn flea market?
Acting like fucking Oprah over here. You get traded, you get traded.
Yep. Wow, I don't know. Jacob, I understand what you're doing. I understand that you don't like the certain players on your team. But it's just like, when you make those moves and you're saying, oh, give me 2 or 3 years, it's just, I don't know. It's just not worth having in the league. That's just personal opinion. But alright, NFC West, we have the 49ers at 6-2, Rams at 5-4, Seahawks 2-6, Cardinals at 1-7. But man, the 49ers and the Rams, if it wasn't for having 4 losses for the Rams, these two teams are identical.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the Rams will pull this division out. That defense that the Rams have is, it's stacked, honestly. You know, if Baker can get that offense going, clicking on all cylinders, and the defense clicking on all cylinders as well, no question the Rams can do it.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt in my mind that they could do it. What do you think, Josh?
I like Corey McCoy probably coming out of the division to come along with the Diehards. Feels like it's a rebuilding year for him. He's on a pretty solid leader, but getting traded away. Now Russell Wilson has really started to rebuild, so he's looking forward to
Good point on that one. And obviously he's just took the team a couple weeks ago, so he's in a rebuild mode as well. Really nothing else you can do on that one since you come in late. But other than that, it's a good point. I'm gonna real quick, going into the Daddy's League real quick so we can talk about the playoff race and the early playoff window. Alright, so the AFC playoff race right now at 1, you have the New England Patriots, 2 Denver Broncos, 3 Jacksonville Jaguars, 4 Cincinnati Bengals, 5 Buffalo Bills, and 6 the Colts.
And honestly, I think that's going to stay pretty accurate for the rest of the season, unless somebody slips up. I'm thinking right now the only team that could really slip up, and has slipped up, obviously, is the Bills for the last 2 games. Other than that, I'm thinking that's pretty set for right now.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
I don't agree myself. I mean, he did one of the 2 games was against the Patriots, and apparently you guys said he didn't have a starting quarterback either.
Yeah. And he did lost to the Bears as well. So that's another solid game.
And that was before the replacement of Joe Scott, correct?
Yes.
I actually believe it was after, wasn't it?
Yeah,
No,
it was before.
Yeah, it was. It was before. Because that was the game that Maurice ultimately dipped out afterwards. But who knows? The Bills could make a comeback. I mean, their schedule looks fairly easy from here on out.
I mean, the Bills are in the right now. If playoffs started today, they would be in the playoffs, sitting at 5. Now, you said it seems like that might stay pretty accurate at the end of the season. I gotta say you're wrong. You had the Pittsburgh Steelers on the bubble at 4-3, and the Cleveland Browns at 5-4 on the bubble, and Bengals are 5-3 as well. So that's easily, if Bengals lose, somebody's gonna take that spot.
You have to remember, the Daddy League is not completely up to date at this point either. The Steelers are 4-4 at this moment in time.
Yeah. And
I don't think that the Bengals will win the division, and I think that the Browns and Steelers are probably both good enough to take away playoffs from them.
pretty much. I do need to update the Daddy League, but it's a little accurate for now. The NFC playoff race, you have the Chicago Bears at 7-1, 49ers at 6-2, Redskins 5-2, Buccaneers at 5-2, Vikings 7-2, Panthers at 5-2. On the bubble, you can just take away the Seahawks and the Detroit Lions at 2-6. That's not going to happen. The only teams that I can see actually moving up from the bubble is the Rams and the Saints.
Yeah, that's going to be the same for me too. LA and New Orleans would be my only flex teams in this situation.
Yeah, because they're only 1 game behind. Easily, if the Panthers lose and the Saints win the next game, the Saints will take that spot.
Oh yeah, for sure. If anybody slips up in the NFC South, it's up for grabs.
Yeah, Rams are 2 games behind because they're 5-4 and the 49ers are 6-2, but that's a pretty close division as well. I mean, it's still got a lot of games left to play, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, but moving on to the yearly awards, we're going to talk some of that a little bit. We're not going to go through all of them. We'll just do like the top 3 of the best positions, but we will talk about the top 5 of everything else. So far, the MVP right now, the MVP race going on is number 1 is Jerick McKinnon for the 49ers. Rob Gronkowski at 2.
You reached for that one, buddy. I'm sorry. You could have went with Rob Groncheese, but you just.
Oh.
He just
Oh,
fucking butchered that.
I know.
So, just
It's
move
fine.
on from that.
Ronald Jones the second at 3 for the Bucks. Mitchell Trubisky for the Bears at 4, and Khalil Mack for the Bears as well at 5.
At the rate this is going, with how good McKinnon has been, if he can stay as consistent as he has been, it's a lock for Jarek.
Definitely agree. If
Gronkowski can finish with 60 touchdowns.
At
Don't
this
even.
pace, yes.
Don't even. Me and RJ already talked about if he keeps at this steady pace, he will break the record for the most touchdowns made by a receiver in a season. So hopefully he tones that down a little bit, because it is a little bit. And it's not a little bit. It is cheese. Okay, just saying.
I know. If you just go back and look at the stats from his last game, 190 and 4 touchdowns for a tight end, that is a little ridiculous.
Out of all 9 games he's played, there's only been 2 games that Gronkowski was stopped. So if I was anybody in the league right now on defense, please use your linebacker and stay on Gronk. Yeah, at least that would happen. Please. All right, moving on to the offensive player of the year for the AFC. I don't want to talk about this. Rob Gronkowski's at number 1. So if I see Rob Gronkowski, I'm not mentioning it. Number
Probably
2,
gonna stay right there with that.
Le'Veon Bell. Number 3, Giovanni Bernard. Number 4, David Johnson for the Patriots as well. They traded for them. And then number 5 with Alshon Jeffrey for the Broncos. So as you can see, the Broncos did trade for Jarvis Landry and Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah, honestly, I think this one stays right about the same unless there's an injury or, other than that, I'm thinking Gronkowski's taking the AFC offensive player.
It's garbage. Alright, moving on to the defensive player of the year. We got Lorenzo Alexander for the Buffalo Bills, number 1. Number 2, Myles Garrett for the Browns. Number 3, Dante Hightower for the Patriots. Number 4, Jawan Bentley for the Patriots as well. And then Todd Davis for the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the top 3 are going to be interchangeable for this one. It's going to be up for grabs. This one's kind of different. You're going to be going off of sacks, interceptions, tackles.
It's up in the air.
Yeah. So I think it's going to come down between Hightower and Alexander at this point in the season.
Yeah, Go ahead.
Chubb got 3 sacks in the 4th quarter in a close game with the Browns after his first game with them, and he didn't have a sack for 3 quarters.
Wow, so that big difference. The Patriots do have Jawan Bentley, who's overall 75. He's been using him a lot, getting picks. That's why he's on that list. He's a rookie as well. I think RJ told me this. So it's another guy to look out for. This whole list is really Patriots and Broncos, so.
Yeah, a couple Bills and Browns in there. Other than that, it's
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, offensive rookie of the year. This is the list I can't wait to read. Nick Chubb for the Browns at number 1. Kerryon Johnson, I think I said that right, for the Colts, number 2. Lamar Jackson for number 3 for the Ravens. And 4, Josh Allen. I'm surprised Josh Allen's still on this list after being injured. But what can you do? Philip Lindsay for the Broncos at number 5.
Yeah, I'm thinking Lamar Jackson might ultimately take this, but do not sleep on Gesicki down there at 7.
Oh, of course.
Hey, you know what? It's the first time I've shown up on this list. I can promote myself a little bit.
Right.
I don't think anybody yet because it's too early with injuries in this match. Anybody can get hurt at any time.
Yeah, you got a point on that one, but and Robert has Nick Chubb for the Browns, and he said he's just getting him really started. So hopefully, if he can keep that going, Nick Chubb could see it, barring injury or something like that. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we got Jawan Bentley for the Patriots at number 1. Rashaan Evans for the Colts at number 2. He's one of my favorite defenders and linebackers. Chris Board at number 3, he's at overall 64. And then Dorian O'Daniel, 65 overall, number 4 for the Chiefs. And Colts also have Darius Leonard at number 5. So Colts have 2 in the top 5 for linebackers.
Yeah, my money on this one, I have to go with Leonard. Kid's a stud.
Damn, I actually want to go Rashaan Evans.
But don't sleep on Minka.
Oh, here we go.
Get him, my boy.
Here we go. And actually, at number 4, don't forget the Chiefs, and that's...
Yeah.
We haven't really seen much of the Chiefs on any of these lists with their record, but Defensive Rookie of the Year at number 4, that's pretty awesome.
Well, let's just say the defense gets to play a lot.
Yeah,
That's
stats
true.
are a bit inflated.
Alright, we're not going to talk much about the best QB, but we're going to do the top...
We should talk about the most important position on the field.
Oh,
4th down Army. Kickers and punters. Who do you got?
shit. Okay. For the QBs, the top 5 is Case Keenum for the Broncos, Andrew Luck for the Colts, Blake Bortles for the Jags, Mason Rudolph for the Steelers, and Ryan Tannehill for the Dolphins.
I got Luck.
I was about to say, are you going to say Tannehill again?
No, Tannehill's ass. I got Luck.
Alright, what do you think there, Josh?
I'm probably going to go with Luck.
I like Andrew Luck as well, but don't sleep on Mason Rudolph for the Steelers with Edwin. It's a good name. A good point. Alright, best running back. We have Le'Veon Bell at 1. Giovanni Bernard for the Bengals. Leonard Fournette. David Johnson. And Melvin Gordon. I like that we're having new teams and new names on this list now.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna go outside of the top 5. I think Nick Chubb could take it.
Could easily, but I'm still going to go with Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell. I like what the Jaguars are doing, so I'm going to go Leonard Fournette. Alright, best receivers. Man, this is a weird list to even read. Number
Holy
1,
shit.
Alshon Jeffrey at number 1 with the Broncos. Bengals, John Ross. The New York Jets, Quincy Enunwa. Robbie Anderson for the Jets. And Juju Smith-Schuster for the Steelers. Did I for question, did I just read a 1-8 team has 2 receivers on the
Twice,
best
yep.
receiver?
And old man Amendola's up there too.
Well, they'll throw so many times a game because they'll throw picks all the time.
It's confirmed.
That is confirmed. But
I think John Ross will walk away with it. Then honestly, I see Smith Schuster sitting at 2 at the end of the season.
I like
Alshon Jeffrey ball because the addition of Jarvis Landry.
good point. I like John Ross as well, but he's also got AJ Green and Russell Wilson.
AJ Green doesn't have
Not like John
That's-
Ross.
It's the factor.
Definitely a factor. Best offensive line. We got Rodney Hudson for the Raiders. Andrew Norwell for the Jaguars. David DeCastro for the Steelers. Brandon Linder for the Jags, and Joel Bentonio for the Browns.
And with this, it can be different. So I'm going to pick a unit, a team. I think it's going to be somebody from the Patriots that ultimately ends up taking this.
And he is on the list, David Andrews for the Patriots.
Yeah,
Actually, they got three names.
Three guys.
Yeah, Shaq Mason and Marcus Cannon, so that's a good point. Yeah, Patriots. Josh, what do you think?
I'd have to probably say Patriots right after here. The record will help.
Definitely. Best defensive line. The top five, we have Myles Garrett for the Browns, Melvin Ingram for the Chargers, J.J. Watt for the Texans. Woohoo. I can't really say that this guy's name. Can you say it, Steven?
Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah, I couldn't say it. For the Jags. And Alan Bailey for the Chiefs.
With the addition of Chubb, obviously it's going to hurt Garrett's production, so I'm going with JJ.
Wow, you're going to go with the Texans?
I got to talk you up a little bit.
I mean,
With Myles Garrett.
I like my Texans D-line with J.J. Watt and Clowntown. I mean, it's a big difference. J.J. Watt has been on a wreak of havoc lately, so look out for that one. Best linebacker. I don't like reading the Patriots on this list. Damn it. Jerwan Bentley, Todd Davis for the Broncos, Lorenzo Alexander for the Bills, Derek Johnson for the Raiders, and Dante Hightower for the Patriots. I guess we're going to have to go as a unit, the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Patriots too.
Yeah, moving on.
DB, it's probably going to be the same situation.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
In all honesty.
Ronald Darby, Patriots. Jason McCourty, Patriots. Rashad Jones for the Dolphins. Broncos, Darian Stewart. And AJ Boye for the Jaguars. But also, you got to look on this list. The Raiders have Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie and Rashawn Melvin. So, and Aaron Colvin for the Texans too. He's a fast little sucker, and he's had a couple games where he's gotten 2 or 3 interceptions in one game. So,
yeah, I'm still thinking it's gonna be somebody from the Patriots.
Probably.
All
right, best
now the positions everybody cares about.
All right, Josh Lambeau for the Jags, Justin Tucker for the Ravens, Chris Boswell for the Steelers, Adam Vinatieri for the Colts, and Stephen Hauschka for the Bills. Best kicker in the league, I like Adam Vinatieri.
It's got to be the GOAT.
The GOAT, Adam Vinatieri. And if he doesn't get it, it's Justin Tucker. Josh is like, I don't even think I want to talk about this. Yeah, there's the truth. Alright,
so moving on to the NFC.
NFC, the Offensive Player of the Year, Jerick McKinnon for the 49ers, Ronald Jones for the Bucks, Mitchell Trubisky for the Bears, Darius Geis for the Redskins, and Devontae Freeman for the Falcons. I like Geis.
I'm still gonna have to. Yeah, I mean he could definitely be a sleeper in this, but I'm thinking it's gonna be McKinnon, barring any injury. If injury does happen, I can easily see Trubisky taking this.
I was gonna say Mitchell Trubisky is a sleeper on this one because Joe Scott is really good with the quarterback, and he doesn't make too many bad mistakes. So I like that.
Smart with the ball for sure.
I like this list. I like that it has no Patriots. I agreed on that one. Defensive Player of the Year, Khalil Mack for the Bears, Kendall Donnerson for the Buccaneers, Everson Griffin for the Vikings, Levante David for the Redskins, and Mark Barron for the Rams.
Yeah, I might have to go with Khalil Mack. He's too much of a beast. I think he's run away with that.
I agree.
Yeah, running away with that overall 99. You can't beat it. But I like that the Broncos have a couple guys on that list, and Jason Pierre-Paul is on there. So that's a sleeper for the Bucks.
Broncos, sir, I believe you mean the Buccaneers.
I meant the Buccaneers, my bad. Have them on my mind for some reason. All right.
It's probably because you beat them.
Yeah, probably. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Ronald Jones for the Bucks, Darius Geis for the Redskins, DJ Moore for the Panthers, Sony Michel for the Cardinals, and Saquon Barkley for the Giants. I love this list.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Jones. Like I said, barring anything happening, I think it's gonna be Jones.
There's a lot of sleepers on this list. I like Calvin Ridley.
This list is stacked.
I love Calvin Ridley. He's a really good player. I love playing with him on Madden.
I think guys can come through with it.
I think he'll give a run for the money too. And DJ Moore, haven't really talked much about him for the Panthers, so look out for him. And Anthony Miller for the Bears as well. That's another team that you got to look at. All right, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Kendall Donnerson for the Buccaneers, Raquan Smith for the Bears, Fred Warner for the 49ers, Lorenzo Carter for the Giants, and Troy Apke for the Buccaneers. I'm so glad I didn't have to. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm so glad I didn't have to say the name for that Bears guy at number 6.
Yeah, I just noticed that. That'd be a little bit of a mouthful.
Josh, you want to take a shot at that name?
Yeah. No, I think my boy from the team down south from BYU is going to take this. I'm going with Fred Warner.
I think it's too close to tell that he's making good on defense.
Well, the defense, I like Raquan Smith for the Bears. I think Joe Scott's going to really find the strengths in that defense, and it's going to be the fact that Khalil Mack is a freak of havoc, and if everybody's focusing on double teaming him, Raquan Smith, if he gets blitzing, he's going to be a guy to watch out for. All right, best QB. Even though he's injured, Kirk Cousins is number 1. Drew Brees at number 2 for the Saints. Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, and Matthew Stafford.
With the injury to Cousins, he's obviously not going to stay up there much longer. I honestly think Goff is going to sneak in and take that number 1 spot.
I like Drew Brees. He's got a lot of weapons on that offense, too. Jared Goff does, too. I agree with that. But it's going to come down to, in my opinion, Drew Brees versus Jared Goff on this list. What do you think, Josh? I like playing with Goff. All right, best running back. Jerick McKinnon, Ronald Jones, Devontae Freeman, Darius Geis, and Todd Gurley. Man, I can't believe we haven't said that name in Todd Gurley.
Yeah, it's a surprise, but I think McKinnon's taking this one hands down.
Yeah, McKinnon, definitely.
Just wait till you get a look at their wide receivers over here, Logan. That's...
No, gee, please. Alright, so we got Rashad Perryman for the Eagles.
On the 1-7 Eagles.
Wow.
Mind you.
Wow. Alright, so, and then Allen Robinson for the Bears, Stefan Diggs, Brandon Cooks, and Marquise Goodwin for the 49ers. This is actually a good list besides Perryman.
Unfortunately, I think Perryman's going to take it too.
Oh man, I can't believe you said that, but I guess if you're gonna tank, you're gonna I can't even say the sentence because I just hate even talking about this.
I think that Bears wide receiver that's in the list did it.
Allen Robinson. Well, if Nate Folsom can play well with Brock Osweiler, then Stefan Diggs is another name to look out for. And Brandon Cooks is a fast little sucker. And Corey McCoy has Goodwin. And Goodwin's one of the most underrated receivers in the league. So, and I can't believe we're looking at, if you look at it, Randall Cobb at the 2-6 Packers is on the list. And the Cardinals at 1-7 also have Larry Fitzgerald, the old man.
Oh, old man Fitz is there, huh?
Mm-hmm. I think he'll end up retiring after this year since the record.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Alright, we're not going to talk offensive line if you guys don't want to.
I'm thinking the Buccaneers are going to take it, so...
Yeah, Bucks. Defensive line, though, we'll talk about that one because I like this one. Everson Griffin for the Vikings. Chandler Jones, Oliver Vernon, Taco Charlton, and Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I think Aaron Donald slip in there and take that one.
He could very well. I'm gonna go a guy that's not even on this top 5, and Redskins got Ryan Kerrigan and Preston Smith on that list as well, so it's another person you gotta look out for. But I like Everson Griffin. I guess Nate's doing really well with him. He's another stud in defensive line. So what'd you say, Josh?
Aaron Donald definitely.
Oh, Aaron Donald. Best linebacker, Kendall Donnerson for the Bucks, Levante David, Khalil Mack, Bobby Wagner, and Mark Barron. Yeah, Khalil Mack.
Yeah, I don't think Donnerson can hold it down for that much longer. I think it's going to be Khalil.
Yeah, definitely. You agree with that?
And it depends. It's going to be... Sean's a good user on the middle linebacker, so if he just plays on him predominantly, he can stay up there. If Mack's more of just a pass rush specialist, not a user to get all the interceptions.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point. And Levante David is also not a guy that you can't really underestimate too. So Mark Barron as well for the Rams. So that's another guy.
Have some underestimated speed on him.
Yes. All right, best cornerback or DB. Earl Thomas III is on the number 1. I can't believe that's a name that's on the list right there. Nickel Roby Coleman for the Rams. Robert Alford, I can't even talk. James Bradbury for the Panthers. And, wow, Richard Sherman is number 5 for the 49ers. This is a weird
I think
list.
it's going to be somebody from the Rams, considering you go down farther, they have another 2, so they have 3 in the top 10. I think it's going to be Los Angeles.
I think... Go ahead, Josh.
I might be a little biased because Seahawks are another, but I watch a lot of his games, and their safety, he's the best player on their team.
That's a good point.
He plays every game, 2 interceptions a game. I watch him play. I'm going to pick him.
Well, you get to see the majority of his games, so... I like Roby Coleman as well for the Rams. I mean, everybody's going to try to not throw to Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters, so... Alright, best kicker. We have Cody Parkey for the Bears, Jonathan Brown for the Bucks, Dustin Hopkins for the Redskins, Matt Prater for the Lions, Graham Gano for the Panthers.
I'm going with nobody in the top 5. I'm going with Greg the Leg.
Greg the Leg, huh?
Legatron.
Hmm. I like that. I like that pick. That's an off pick. I like it. I like it too. Josh, I don't think you care about this one, so
It's like they're just fucking kickers.
yeah. All right. Moving on to the last segment of the night, and it's the Week 10 talk and predictions for this week coming up. All right, first game on the list. Thursday night football is the Carolina Panthers taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is gonna be a good matchup.
Yeah, ultimately, I think it's going to be close, but I'm thinking Carolina can pull this out. I'm going to say Carolina 24, Pittsburgh 21.
Josh, any predictions?
I'm going to take the Steelers in that one. And I think it's by 10 points.
10 points. I think it's going to be a close game like Steven said, but I'm going to say the other way around. 24-21 Pittsburgh. All right, another good game coming up for Sunday night. Sunday, 1 o'clock. New Orleans Saints taking on Cincinnati Bengals. Another two teams that are trying to stay either winning that division or staying at number one.
I'm going to go with Russell Wilson having a career game in this matchup, even against the Saints defense, which is very, very good. I'm going to go Bengals 34, Saints 10.
Wow, that's a bold prediction. Josh?
I'm not sure that's pretty good for up there. I'm going to give Saints more respect than that. I'm going to still probably take the Bengals, but it's going to be a much closer game, probably field goal.
Okay. For me, I'm going to go the Saints. I'm going to go a little different route. I'm going to say the Saints beat the Bengals 20-17. All right. Atlanta Falcons taking on the Cleveland Browns. I got the Cleveland Browns winning 17-6.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Cleveland as well, but I see them putting up 42. I see Atlanta putting up 20.
I'm going to take the Browns also.
All right. Steven, you can't pick your own game, so Josh.
We're gunning for 40.
Josh, it's Miami Dolphins versus Green Bay Packers.
I'm going to take the Dolphins, and I'm going to take them by 2 touchdowns.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins win this game by 4 touchdowns and a pick 6 at the end of the game. All right, a division matchup. This could be a game changer for the division and the records and the standings. Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Indianapolis Colts.
It's going to be close. As long as Andrew Luck does not make any boneheaded mistakes, I think the Colts will pull it off, only by 1. I got it 35-34 with Jacksonville missing an extra point at the end of the game.
Wow.
I'm going to take the Jaguars winning by probably like a field goal to the
I think it's going to be a close game as well. I'm kind of leaning. I like the Jaguars defense, but the Colts, that linebacker core that's really been stepping up and what they've been doing with some of them guys, I got to go with the Colts winning by 3. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think they're going to score a lot of points. I think it's going to be like 13-10. All right. Detroit Lions taking on the Chicago Bears. I'm going to go Chicago Bears win this 24-3.
Yeah, I got the Bears 31-10.
Yeah, I got the Bears by at least 21.
All right, Josh, you can't pick this one, but Arizona Cardinals taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Steven, do you...
I'm going with Kansas City just because of the bad blood between these two. I think it's going to be 56-10, Kansas City.
I don't have Mahomes. I don't know about that.
You got Kareem Hunt, though. Or is he hurt, too?
No, I got him.
Alright, you got Kareem Hunt, then.
I think these two teams are looking forward to next year, and I think it's going to go into overtime, and it's going to be another tie ball game for the Chiefs.
You can rewind and figure out what I predicted for this game.
Well, I've done said overtime, and it's going to be a tie ball game, Josh, so. Alright. This is going to be another key matchup. Titans really desperately need a win if they can beat the undefeated Patriots. I don't know. Brian Afidi, if he can use the linebacker and really knock down the Gronkowski, bring him back to earth, Titans have a chance, but I'm still leaning towards the Patriots winning this.
Do not sleep on Brian.
I'm not.
Here's my upset. Tennessee's going to win.
Wow.
I want to say it's so bad, but I just see Gronkowski getting 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Alright, Washington Redskins taking on Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Gotta go with the Buccaneers with the hot hand and Ronald Jones running the ball. He's gonna get 3 touchdowns on the ground and probably break a record in the rushing attack. Buccaneers win 24 to 10.
I might have to go with Washington. I think, guys, it's
That's
just
an upset.
a beast. I'm going to go with the Redskins 24 to 21.
I'm going to take the Bucks and by 14, at least by 14 points.
Alright, this is a, if Rodney had the Jets earlier in the season and didn't have this record, I would give this game to the Jets. But Bills taking on the Jets, I gotta go with Tawan Crosby.
Rodney does not have that give-up mentality. He took me down to the wire. I'm thinking the Jets pull this one out.
That's a good point.
35 to 30.
It's a,
I'm going to take the Bills.
it can happen. I can see it happening. Alright. The Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Oakland Raiders.
I'm going with the Black Hole Sun on this one.
Me too, Black Hole Sun.
I'm asking you guys to take the Raiders.
Alright. I think it's gonna be a good game. I think Raiders pull it off by 3.
I think the Raiders are going to end up winning by 2 touchdowns.
Could very well happen. Bless you, sir. Bless you. Jeez, bless you. Are you good, sir? You're not gonna die on us.
He got the good weed.
I didn't know the game like you're talking about.
We were just talking about the Raiders and Chargers and the score.
Oh, yeah. I'm taking the Raiders. Probably by, I would say at least better.
Alright. This is a game that Josh will get to watch, and he knows what his brother can do. Seattle Seahawks taking on the Los Angeles Rams.
No, honestly, I think Dakota pulls an upset here.
I'm taking the upset.
I like what the Rams are doing on offense. I'm going to go with the Rams winning by 7.
You gotta watch out for Dakota's users. Pretty good. As long as he doesn't turn the ball over a lot, he's winning this game.
Could happen. Could very well happen. The next game is the Dallas Cowboys versus Philadelphia Eagles.
Taking Dallas.
I'm taking Dallas as well.
You just gotta hop aboard the tank train here with Philly.
Well, they're both tanking. Come on now.
Yeah, but Jacob's probably the better tank, so I'm gonna take Dallas.
Good point. Alright, New York Giants and San Francisco 49ers. That's an easy pick. I'm going with the 49ers.
Yeah, 49ers. Easily.
But other than that, that's all we have for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. From me, Josh, and Steven, have a great night.